Hey everyone, before we get started, I want you to do something with me. Ready? Take a giant breath in. And now let it all out with a whoosh. Pretty cool, right? You just did something your body does all the time without you even noticing. You swapped out old air for new air. We're going to find out exactly how that works today. That whole breathing thing has a fancy science name. Gaseous Exchange. Whoa, sounds complicated, right? But don't worry, it's super simple. All it means is your body's swapping gases. It's like a trade you take in the good stuff your body needs. That's oxygen, and you get rid of the stuff you don't need, which is called carbon dioxide. And you know what? All living things do this. Even tiny little bugs and big tall trees, because it's how they get their energy. So what's on our journey today? Well, first we're going to see how plants breathe. Yep, plants breathe too. Then we'll check out our own amazing breathing system. We'll follow the air on its trip inside our bodies, find out where the magic happens, and even learn how to keep our lungs strong and healthy. And we'll end with a really cool question for you to think about. Alright, first stop on our adventure plants. Now think about it. Have you ever seen a plant with a nose? Or with lungs? Nope. So how in the world do they breathe? Well, during the daytime, plants are busy making their own food. And to do that, they breathe in the exact gas that we breathe out, carbon dioxide. And guess what? They breathe out oxygen, the very same stuff we need to live. It's like we have a deal with them. We're basically breathing buddies. But if they don't have a nose, how do the gases get in and out? Well, get this. Their leaves are covered in thousands of teeny tiny little mouths. Seriously, they're called stomata. You can't see them without a microscope, but they're there, opening and closing to let air in and out. And how do these little mouths know when to open and close? They have their own bodyguards. Each tiny mouth or spongioblastoma has two guard cells next to it. Think of them like security guards at a gate. When the cells are full of water, they swell up and the gate swings open. When they lose water, they shrink down and the gate closes. Pretty smart, huh? Okay, so plants are pretty cool with their leaf mouths. But what about us? Our breathing system is a little different and it's all tucked away inside our chests. Let's go check it out now for this gas swapping to work perfectly. The place where it happens has to be just right for us. That perfect place is our lungs. Our lungs are awesome because one, they're super thin, so gas can get through easily. Two, they're always moist. Three, they are huge on the inside. Like if you could flatten them out, they'd cover a really big area. And four, they're permeable. That's just a science word that means stuff can pass right through them. Easy peas. Alright, you ready to go on a trip? Let's pretend we can shrink down and follow a breath of air as it goes into your body. Okay, here we go. In through the nose. Whoosh. Now the air goes down a long tube called the trachea, or you might know it as your windpipe. Those rings help keep the tube from squashing flat. Then the windpipe splits into two parts called bronchi, one for the left lung, one for the right lung. Inside the lungs, those parts split again and again into smaller and smaller tubes, kind of like the branches on a tree. And at the very, very end of the tiniest branches, we find millions of little air bubbles called alveoli. We've made it to the end of the road. And look, these alveoli look just like tiny bunches of grapes. This is it, everyone. This is the most important place in our whole journey. This is where the magic happens. So, what is this magic I keep talking about? It's just the simple act of breathing in and breathing out. And it's all thanks to some really important muscles. Let's check it out. When you breathe in, your chest muscles and the big flat muscle under your lungs called the diaphragm get tight. That makes your chest get bigger, and that pulls the air inside. Then when you breathe out, all those muscles just relax, your chest gets smaller, and that pushes the air back out. Go on, try it. Put your hand on your chest. Feel it get bigger, and now smaller. That's it. Want to hear something wild? Your lungs can hold a lot of air. If you take the biggest breath you possibly can, you can hold about 5 liters of air. That's like 2 big bottles of soda and a small one. But here's the crazy part. When you're just sitting and breathing, normally you only use a tiny bit of that space with each breath. Okay, let's go back to those little grape-like sacs, the alveoli. Remember them? What's super important is that they're covered in a web of tiny, tiny blood vessels. This is the meeting point. This is where the air you just breathed in gets to meet your blood for the first time. And here it is, the great gas swap. Right here, the oxygen from the air jumps into your blood. Then your blood is like a pizza delivery driver taking that oxygen to every single part of your body. So you have energy. And at the exact same time, the blood drops off its trash, the carbon dioxide, and it jumps out of the blood and into the alveoli. Then you just breathe it out. It all happens faster than a blink of an eye. You know, our lungs are just amazing. They work hard for us every second of every day. So it's super important that we take good care of them. Right, let's talk about how to do that. Now, there are some things that are really, really bad for our lungs. And one of the worst is smoking. It really hurts the inside of your lungs and can make you very sick, causing things that make it super hard to breathe. But let's end on a happy note. You know what's great for your lungs. Exercise. Every time you run around, swim, or just play outside, you're giving your lungs a great workout. It makes them stronger and helps them do their job even better. So get moving. Wow, what a journey. We have learned so much today. Let's do a quick review of everything we talked about. And then I have one last question for you. So, what did we learn first? We learned that all living things need to swap gases to get energy. We found out that plants breathe using tiny little mouths on their leaves. We followed the air down our windpipe, into our lungs, and all the way to those little air sacs, the alveoli, and the biggest secret. That's where the oxygen gets into our blood and the carbon dioxide gets out. That's breathing. Just think about that for a second right now, as you're watching this. Your body is doing that amazing gas swap, and you're not even telling it to. It just happens. It's awesome. So here's my question for you. What other incredible things do you think your body is doing all by itself right now?